Game 4. We gotta, we played well tonight for stretches. We saw some different things they try to do to us. So it's a matter of improving those spacing-wise and getting rid of that ball and get moving and more actions. I thought defensively we did a pretty good job for most of the game. Obviously at the end things got a little out of control and they made some tough shots. But that's all that matters. Game 4, nothing else matters really.
How much of a factor has your defense against Vucevic been in the success that you've had for 3 games?
I don't know. I don't know how big of a factor it is.
Do you feel like you've sort of taken him out the way they like to play?
Just trying to do, my job every possession and on both ends of the floor, and trying to give him as tough looks as I can, be as physical as I can, and kind of understanding what they're trying to get in every play, what angles they're trying to accomplish, and their spacing. So I don't know how it affects their team, but I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do.
When you had to come up with the 4 fouls, I mean, Serge had to go back in. His first stint wasn't great, but he came back in and he seemed like a different guy.
Yes.
What do you think got him? Did you say anything to him, or did that?
No, I think he got himself out of it. I think he did a good job of staying aggressive, even though they kind of score on him a couple times and got burned on a couple pops. But I think and then he made a couple of buckets, and I think it got him going, and we need him. I mean, big time, obviously, and Serge, is a huge thing for us.
How tough was that for you, Marc, to pick up the 4th there and have to come up?
I don't know how it looked on TV. It felt, like a lot of leather to me. Even the 3rd was
Sketchy.
At most, and you just live with it, and like I said, it's easy to talk, move on to the next play when it's somebody else. But you got to live with the example, and when it's you got to move on and stay engaged in the game, and okay, next guy up. That's why we're a basketball team.
Are you guys as a team getting to the line as much as you think you should be? I mean, the foul disparity over the last.
We got to stay aggressive and continue to drive that ball and move a little more and drive those gaps in those lanes from side to side, and I'm sure that eventually it's going to go for us.
Does it make it easier to execute your game plan when you have so many good defenders on your team?
Obviously, that always helps. When you have a game plan, you execute it, everybody on the same page, and you play with that type of energy. Defensively, obviously, that always helps. But
you neutralized Nikola Vucevic at the beginning of the game. What adjustment do you make to stop Nikola Vucevic before you had the 4 fouls?
It's the same approach I took in game 1, game 2, game 3. I'm going to take in game 4. You try to make things as hard as possible for him and his teammates, and you have a game plan and guys execute it. It's if he makes a couple shots, things are going to get obviously more open for him. You saw in the 3rd quarter, once he got going, he's a very dangerous player.
How good was Pascal in comparison to how he is? I know he's good.
I mean, he's been really consistent, being awesome. He's been consistently awesome, and I'm sure they're going to make adjustments, and we have to be ready for that. And I'm sure they're not going to allow the same guys to do the same thing over and over again. And I thought tonight they made an adjustment on Kawhi on pick and roll. We kind of especially Serge made a couple really good reads on that pick and roll, and we're going to get better.
In a lot of clutch situations, though, he's the guy that made the basket. He's the guy that stopped their run.
Yeah, we kind of we play. One side for Kawhi, the other side for Pascal. We still can do that, and I think we can get to that in many different ways. And the ball, we got to do a better job of not being so predictable sometimes. Yeah.
You said it the other day with Kyle. It's not always about scoring.
No.
How big were some of those plays he made, particularly?
That rebound. Talk about that rebound. He made it. That was the game. That's Kyle, and that has nothing to do with scoring. Has nothing to do with it's just, he stuck his nose in there. He ran through that ball and got the rebound and won the game for us. So it's a team thing. Basketball is a beautiful thing because it's a team sport, and everybody has each other's back.
Nick just told us in there that Kawhi hasn't practiced in 2 days and he's been under the weather for at least that. I don't know if he was even iffy to play, but did you come into this game expecting that somebody was going to have to pick up some slack there with Kawhi not really feeling?
That's kind of, you know, depends on. I thought that they did a good job of blitzing him and kind of like getting, you know, rid of those gaps and that space for him to kind of read and attack Nick. And out of that, like, I don't think we got a lot to that. We played a lot of ISO, and he got, I think, pretty decent looks. I think to the front of the rim a couple times, more than a couple, and did a, you know, pretty good job, and he just didn't get the calls.